A sitting Supreme Court justice just unloaded on her colleague in one of the most intellectually brutal takedowns ever published by the court. And it wasn't just a disagreement, it was a demolition. But before we get into this, please like, comment, and share Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, in a landmark ruling on the limits of judicial power, Justice Amy Coney Barrett didn't just author the majority opinion. She used it to launch a precision strike against Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the newest member of the court and a Biden DEI appointee. The case limited lower courts from issuing broad nationwide injunctions, a major win for President Trump and the constitutional separation of powers. But what shocked court observers wasn't just the 6-3 ruling. It was Barrett's surgical dissection of Jackson's dissent, which legal analysts are calling one of the most devastating in modern Supreme Court history. Barrett torched Jackson's entire premise, saying, quote, "We will not dwell on Justice Jackson's argument, which is at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself," unquote. Then Barrett turned up the heat, adding, quote, "Justice Jackson decries an imperial executive while embracing an imperial judiciary," unquote. She even mocked Jackson's dramatic warnings about the death of democracy, writing, quote, "Because analyzing the governing statute involves boring legalese, Jackson seeks to answer a far more basic question of enormous practical significance. May a federal court in the United States of America order the executive to follow the law." Justice Jackson would do well to heed her own admonition, she adds. "Everyone from the president on down is bound by the law. That goes for judges too," unquote. Barrett didn't stop there. She accused Jackson of abandoning legal doctrine altogether in favor of ideological hysteria. Quote, "She offers a vision of the judicial role that would make even the most ardent defender of judicial supremacy blush," unquote. Justice Jackson's dissent was so unmoored from legal precedent that she didn't even conclude with the traditional "I respectfully dissent." She simply walked away from the wreckage of her own opinion. Outside observers were stunned. One former federal prosecutor wrote, unquote, "This is an unbelievable bloodbath for KBJ. It's really a huge problem for the court to have one of 9 members essentially intellectually disabled from even adequately faking the ability to perform the job," unquote. Now make no mistake, this isn't just about judicial theory. This is about what happens when radical ideologues are put on the Supreme Court. Now, Joe Biden explicitly chose Ketanji Brown Jackson for her race and gender, not her jurisprudence. He said so himself. And now one of the most powerful institutions in America is bearing the cost. Jackson's dissent didn't just lack legal grounding, it revealed a deep hostility to constitutional restraint. Her dissent reads more like an MSNBC op-ed than a serious legal opinion. And Barrett wasn't having it. In this decision, President Trump won. The rule of law won. And the American people got a rare look behind the curtain at just how far the radical left is willing to go to reshape the country, even from the bench. Barrett stood up for the Constitution. Jackson tried to rewrite it. And the contrast couldn't be more clear. Now, this doesn't mean ACB always gets it right, but in this case, her demolition of KBJ was spot on. This has been Kyle Becker with Explain America. Please like, comment, and share with your thoughts about this story.